Hi everyone, welcome to First Playthrough. I'm Chance. Today is day 3 in our progression of Forza Horizon 4. If you haven't already checked out our previous days 1 or 2, go check those out after this video to catch up on our current run of this game. Alright, so currently I'm driving a 2009 Honda S2000 that's lightly modified to Class A. This car in its current state is extremely well balanced, lightweight, and to use a phrase again, extremely fun to drive. With characteristics like this, I can understand why these things are so sought after in the real world. I mean, heck, it's even on my list of dream cars to own. Alright, so getting back to the game, we're en route to our first event of the day, which will be part of the dirt racing series. If you're unaware, there are several different series of races, each uniquely different from one another. We'll get to each of those series eventually. So here we are, we're almost reaching the event, and we're just going to pull right in, select it, we'll play solo. We got 3 cars to choose from here. Could be driving the S2K or MX5, but we're gonna choose the Audi. Because it's a dirt race, I've chosen to get into the 2015 Audi TTS. So I've chosen this car for a couple of reasons. So one, unlike the rest of the cars available to us, specifically the Honda S2K and the Mazda MX5, this was the only one that's all-wheel drive. This is also the most powerful car in its current state, capable of delivering more torque at lower RPMs than the other 2 vehicles that were available. With those reasonings, I feel the TTS gives us a reasonable high chance of victory with this race. So while we enter this race, I just want to point out a few things on the difficulty settings that we're playing on and the handicaps we've turned on and off. So one, I am currently playing on above average difficulty. I started out on average, but during day 2 the game felt I was winning too easily, so it asked if I wanted to up the difficulty, which I accepted. So there are, I think, 3 more tiers of difficulty higher than where we're currently at, ultimately getting to unbeatable. Maybe we'll get to that at some point. 2, I have both traction control and stability control off. 3, steering is set to simulation instead of assisted. Shifting is set to automatic. I have both ABS, which is anti-lock brake system, and full racing line set to on. So the harder you make the game, the more points and credits you received after each race. So that's the reasoning for toggling some of these things on and off. And the last 2, damage and tire wear, I have set to cosmetic. I do like the realistic feel of a racing game. But I don't want a game like this to be such a headache to play. I do want it to be fun, so having those damage and tire wear is just cosmetic is perfectly fine. And then the last, we have rewind turned on as well. So this is something you can turn on and off. We do have it set to on, and you may have noticed earlier on when we were going through a right-hander, we just kind of plowed into a barrier and it brought us to a complete stop. At that point, we can rewind and try that section over again. So you can't rewind constantly to go back to the very beginning of a race, but you can go back maybe 5 to 7 segments of rewind and start from those points, maybe if you just screwed up very royally. I try to use the rewind as sparingly as possible, but yep, it comes in handy. So, alright, so we're going to choose our next race and make a waypoint and continue from there. Alright, so here we are, we're coming up onto our next event, and we just sped through that speed zone, 2 started out of 3, which gets us to the next level in that little side series. So we're going to choose the next dirt race series, and what we're going to hop into next is the 2005 Subaru WRX STI. This is in class S1. So the different classes that are available are as low as D through A, then it goes S1, S2, and then X. Each have different points ranging from, I think they start probably at 0, but I think it goes as low as like 400. It goes all the way up to 99 based on what you have upgraded the car with. This one's fairly heavily modified and just a blast to drive. Alright, so this race that we're currently in is a point-to-point race. So starting at one point and racing to the next point. So basically from A to B. Currently we're in 5th out of 12 and quickly progressing through the different racers here. Sorry, I just got focused on some of the racing. Just kind of tapped that other car and that Subaru as well. And we're in 1st. This should be a fairly simple win for us with this vehicle. As you can see in the top left corner is our progression. I know my head is kind of blocking that progression bar just a little bit, but we're currently sitting at about 45% completion, and the goal of these races is to make it through each of these little checkpoints. You don't have to go through the checkpoints, you have to at least touch the checkpoints in order to pass through them. And the ultimate goal is obviously making it through to the end of the race in 1st. And that is going to be our ultimate goal. And so far, we have achieved 100% of 1st place finishes as we plow through that ice cream stand. But anyways, we've achieved 1st place in every race so far through days 1 through 3, this being the 3rd day. And we look like we are set to win this race as well. If you notice in the bottom left corner is our mini map, and those other little circles that are trailing us on the map are the other competitors, and we are way ahead of them. Do that last little cross, this lefter into right, and we have finished. Alright, and with that we've won our 2nd race of this day. That's how we stacked up. Do a little dance here at the end. So we've got a 2nd place was a 22B Subaru, and 3rd place was a Lancer Evolution. So that last screen was the credits that we earned, and this is influencer points. The influencer points will eventually build our level up in this racing series to achieve, well, what you can see is the next level is going to be a t-shirt, but once we get to a certain level of prestige in this series, we actually unlock kind of a special race for the series. We'll get to that in a moment. So we are going to immediately hop to the next race, And this next race, we are going to switch cars to the 1986 Ford Escort. This is the RS Turbo version of this vehicle. Kind of a rally legend in its own right. So this is a front-wheel drive vehicle. It's Class C, so it is the lowest class vehicle that we've driven today when compared to the Honda S2000 and the previous WRX STI that we were in. Even with it being front-wheel drive and in its class, it's still one of the quickest vehicles in its class for what it does. I think the only thing that we've done to this vehicle as we just ride the rear end of this Golf. The only thing that we've really done is just put rally tires on the vehicle, and I believe we lightened it up a little bit and maybe made some slight modifications to some of its power performance. But other than that, with those light modifications, this car is very, very quick. As you can see, we're just blowing through the field. We're already up in the second with 30% progression through this race. Now up to first with 35%. Make that left turn. Try to stay off the wall there. This car, along with the others, going uphill is a bit of a battle, but I believe this is one of the only vehicles in its class, in this specific race, I should say, that is turbocharged. So that said, if we're going uphill and that turbo kicks in, it's going to be pulling in a lot more air for the engine to really gain more power to get up that hill. As opposed to those other cars that are naturally aspirated and just kind of struggling with what they got. So now we're into a downhill section, a very quick section of this race. We're gonna get through this section of the race, going from 60 to 70 to 80% progression very quickly. Still very fast. A slower right turn into a left, just kind of an S curves here. Another right, still going downhill. We do have the pack kind of catching up with us, but we've got one more right into a straight onto the tarmac. And there's our finish line up ahead. Oh yeah, we've really made some separation there. Bam. That is our second win. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's our third win of the day. So yeah, we're just trucking on through. So that's a Golf and looks like a Fiesta maybe? Anyways, got some cash, got some influencer points. This one is a t-shirt. Next level, we get super wheel spin, and we're just gonna hop right into the next race. We're gonna go over to Glendale Foothill Scramble. This will be the last race in the series, or for the day, excuse me. This is going to be 3 laps, and we're also going to be racing in the 86 Ford Escort RS Turbo. So I've decided to kind of let the video run and just show that we don't have to stay on the road to actually go to each event. We can just kind of cut through the field and dodge these houses and other cars. Try to stay off trees right there. We're gonna just rewind and go to the left of that tree and continue on through these fields and hippity hop. Got some air there. This is the train yard. Yep, we're gonna rewind there. This is all brand new to us. Yep, we're gonna get stopped by the tree, but we're gonna keep going because we just keep running into stuff that is stopping us. Just to the left of us, if you can see on our mini map, is another billboard. It was kind of in and out of the screen pretty quickly. We will eventually be coming back to those. I do get the billboards, but I generally do them off stream. They're kind of boring, not a whole lot of action, not much that I can narrate in any of them. It's just kind of find them, break them, and move on to the next one. And there's nothing really much else to see. Alright, so we are in the last race of this session. Again, this is going to be 3 laps. We are starting out in 8th place. And that turbo kicking in real quick. We're already in the 7th. Gonna split these other 2 cars. We're into 5th now. Coming up on a prelude. Getting into right corner. Got another right. Into a hard 90-degree left. Yeah, there we go. Just sliding out. Past the prelude. Now we're into 4th. Heading up to the top 3. Getting uphill into another right-hander. To 90-degree left. Slide a little bit on the rainy tarmac. Go past that. Not sure what that was. I think I called it a Fiesta, maybe a Fiesta, I'm not sure. This looks like a Golf GTI in front of us. We're gonna hang behind them and draft them. Gaining all these points from drafting. Coming up on a hard, break. Break through that wall. Oh, that lost us some time and some positioning. It looks like that Golf GTI did make up that first spot, but the other vehicle has the inside line and is going to pass him. The Golf can get up. Nope, doesn't. Alright. So, we're into the final stretch of this first lap. We're going to hang on the outside. We're going to hope that turbo spools up and gets us some speed, and it's giving us a bunch of power. Alright, so we are now in first. Oh, and that GTI just slung past us. So, I do know that the GTI is probably one of the lightest vehicles with a good weight, power to weight ratio for for this class, I should say. So it can really carry its speed and momentum into every corner, which makes it a very difficult car to kind of create separation from. Ooh, kind of overcorrected and slung the vehicle out to the left, but again, just a bad overcorrection. This is early on into playing this game and still kind of getting used to the handling. Each vehicle does drive a little bit differently, especially in using the simulation steering. It is trying to simulate how each vehicle drives individually. So not everything is going to drive the same. That said, this is also a front-wheel drive vehicle, and the last car that we ran was that WRX STI, which was all-wheel drive and extremely powerful with it being in the S1 class. Alright, so we're heading into the final left of this second lap. Got the GTI behind us, but this is a long straightaway. That turbo is going to kick in and bam. As you can see, once we hit 87 miles per hour, we just all that power just came to us immediately. Same there. Alright, so we're going to slow down, blast through that left turn, another left, got one more right, crash into that brick wall. I think we've hit the brick wall every time that we've gone through there. And hitting things does slow you down. Yep. That GTI is right on our tail. Took way too much speed in that corner and just got plowed. Slow down enough. That was good. That was much better. Much better than the last lap. That was also better than the last lap. Alright. We are on a roll. We're kind of getting a hang of this. Too bad this is the last race. Duck our left tires onto the grass. Right tires on the grass. Hit that checkpoint. Alright. Got a slight S into that hard left 90 degree, probably more than 90 degree, looks like a 45 degree. There we go. All right, last little turns here, sweeping left to 90 degree right, to 90 degree left, and back onto our home stretch. Here we go. And we got this one in the bag.
While we wrap up this win, I hope you enjoyed all the racing and want to remind you to go check out the other videos on this channel. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to know when new videos are available, make sure you have notifications turned on. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter by following the links at the end of this video. Thanks for joining me on today's races, and be well.